Hey guys, Ryan here, and today I'm going to bring you a video in one of my favourite tier 10 tanks that I hardly ever play, the Badger, tier 10 British TD. Now, I usually just don't play tank stores in general, they're usually not my kind of thing. But, as you're going to see this game on Duck La Pass, which I'm platooned with Felix and Z4, I feel like I can just play the Badger quite aggressive. Now, it doesn't have a turret, which can sometimes hold it back, but the gun arc left and right is still really nice, especially compared to other turretless TDs like the Object 268, which I also really like. So this thing can aim to the left and right quite a bit. It's also got 10 degrees of gun depression and really good armor. Even the lower plate can bounce, although ideally don't let them shoot your lower plate, go hull down, but against lower tier tanks your lower plate can actually bounce. And as well as the upper plate being very thick and angled, you can angle it even more if you use the gun depression and use the gun arc, so if you're facing an enemy you can actually angle your tank to the right a little bit while still being able to get your gun on target, and that's where the gun arc left and right comes in handy. It's got really nice DPM, it's got really nice high explosive shells, because they're hash, so they have 130 or 120mm of penetration I believe. The penetration is a little bit lacking, I'm not entirely sure, but it's either the worst or the second worst standard pen in any tier 10 TD, between this and the Gorilla 15 I believe. So the penetration isn't the greatest, and against, like, you know, a Type 5 heavy or a mouse you might struggle a little bit. And at the start of this game, I actually just have to nip off and do something, so I've actually put my tank into auto drive, and you'll see I'm not touching anything, I'm actually out the room at the moment. Because this isn't the fastest of vehicles, I know that I'll be back in time. And speaking of the speed of this tank, it is faster than the Taurus, and it's faster than something like an E3, so once you've played the Taurus, this thing doesn't even feel that slow. At least not to me. The gun handling's amazing, the alpha damage is alright, 480's nothing to sniff at, but it's often not as good as, you know, the 850 that I'm used to on the 268. And as we get the battle here, I'm just about to come back, just in time because I get spotted. Now this game's going to be about the artillery. Now then we have two, excuse me, then we have two artillery, which I'm very scared of. I do have a spall liner, a super heavy, or I can't remember if it's a super heavy spall liner on the Badger, or if it's a medium one. Or heavy one, should I say. But I've got a spall liner nonetheless on this, so I take slightly reduced high explosive damage. Because being the kind of tank it is where you get hull down and people can't pen you, you have to expect a lot of high explosive shells to be fired at you. So definitely I recommend a spall liner for anyone running this tank. I missed a shot on the Death Star because I don't bother fully aiming in. Artillery's already firing at Felix. So already I know that artillery's aiming this direction. You see another one there. You saw that fully aimed shot straight into the top of the turret of the Death Star. This is one of the few tanks in the game where the accuracy actually feels as good as it says it is. There's some tanks that say they have good accuracy, but like when you play the game it doesn't necessarily feel like it does. The Badger's one of those tanks feels like it, and I don't have them yet, but I'm assuming the STRV-103B and the Gorilla 15 are also tanks that will feel as accurate as they say they are. Now this position up here, I normally don't come up here because they have a sniper hill across the map that can see you. But I'm just trying to find some positions right now. The side of the 1-4 absorbs my shot, and then the Chieftain of all tanks is actually on the sniping hill. So I'm going to angle my armor towards there. And now I need to back up, because now I'm worried the artillery's going to be shooting at me. So, unfortunately what it's going to mean is, if you look at the map where Felix is at, he's in the position where artillery's going to be able to hit him. And we know artillery is aiming our general direction, our side of the map. As our UDES gets taken out by the DW-100. I realise I can't push around this direction because of that hill. And I also don't want to push it towards the enemies in front of me because, again, artillery. So, I see there are enemies heading towards our base. I'm going to head back to base, one, to protect it, but two, their enemies I'll be able to fight while staying Arty safe. And I'm going to try and save hit points here. Now the good news is our artillery gets rid of the bat shot, and that's very important for me because being a turretless tank, something like a bat shot getting around me would be the end of me. So getting rid of the more mobile vehicles is very useful, so I'm very grateful for the artillery for nailing the bat shot. Now there's no one left on the front line towards our base other than our artillery. I do have a T-62A next to me, and the 705A is coming back. And this T-62A is going to be a huge part of this game. So he's come back, and the 705A is coming back. So they both had the same idea of avoiding artillery. Felix wanted to come back, but he pushed to a position where he could no longer cross back over without getting killed by the Type 5 Heavy and the Chieftain on the other side of the map. Now, my fuel tanks are damaged, but I'm not going to repair them because I do have an automatic fire extinguisher, so I feel no need to, because if I catch fire, the fire extinguisher will deal with it. One shot into the UDES, I get the damage and the tracking shot, and then I'm just going to go for the kill. And then we load APCR because it's an E100. Now, with our T-62A going behind him, I'm going to try and track the E100. But I successfully do. I don't get the damaging shot, but tracking's enough for me. And you'll see the E100 is going to keep looking at me, and I'm fine with that, because the T-62A has awesome DPM, and will just farm the E100 from right behind him. And I know that I have the armor to just reliably sit here. T-62A picks up the kill. Now, the 705A picks up the machine, which is very useful. Now we have a full health Chieftain back here. And we can assume that the Type 5 Heavy is down there as well, because obviously Type 5 Heavy killed Felix. So, the good news is, I know he's a very slow tank, it'll take him a bit of time to get here. The SRV's round here. He's got very good accuracy and very good penetration. So if I go out there in the open, he will be able to pen me in the lower pipe. But what's going to happen here is, I don't want to push out and go to my side because there's a Chieftain with its insane DPM down there. So what I'm doing is, I'm waiting here in an already safe position, and I'm waiting for the team to catch up. And as I'm thinking about what to do, our team makes the choice, and that is, the 705A is pushing for the STRV. The Chieftain's firing hash. I get one shot into the Chieftain, the artillery is 705, and now, not only 705A pushing up there, T-62A is, and the Jaeger's been spotted up there. So I've decided, Chieftain's back up, I have to help these two guys deal with these TDs, because I'm going to need them to deal with the Chieftain and the Type 5. So even though we have to export ourselves to Arty, the teammates are pushing, I need to support them. So the T-62A is off to go deal with the STRV, which he's just picked up. And now we can deal with this Jagdpanzer E100. And combined, our DPM is really nice here. The 62A, with its awesome turret armor, manages to bounce the Jaeger by getting up close. And now I know the Chieftain and Type 5 Heavy are on their way. Chieftain still has the hash loaded, so I drive forward to get behind this rock. And now that we've dealt the Jaeger, I have to push the Chieftain, because I need to get out of line of sight of the artillery. So this does mean I have to expose the rear of my tank to them. But the good news is, I've saved enough hit points throughout this game, so far, by playing it safe, that with the spall liner, when the artillery actually shows up and shoots me, after I get tracked, which is not good, because you never want to stay still when there's artillery. He shoots me, sets me on fire, but the automatic fire extinguisher kicks in, and the spall liner working a treat for me. And now I can push even further forward to get out of line of sight of the two artillery. And now we can just pick off the Type 5 Heavy. He doesn't really stand a chance against the three of us. And now the other nice thing about keeping these two alive is on a map this big with two artillery, it's really nice to have the T-62A, who's a lot faster than me. And even the 705A, which for a heavy tank is actually quite mobile. So to have these two here to hunt down the enemy artillery, it's going to be so much nicer than me just driving around the map. And if I was actually by myself here, I would actually be quite tempted just to sit near base, because I would be worried of moving towards their base and then their two artillery jumping on our cap. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to skip forward a little bit to where we find their artillery. It isn't going to take too long, but I just thought for the sake of time I'll skip forward anyway, because it's not that interesting to watch a Badger just drive around. So as we get to the end of the game here, you'll see that the 705A picks up one artillery and the T-62A picks up the other one. So big shout out to these two. Follow me towards the end, staying in Arty cover to go back to our base. probably couldn't have won the game without them. And you'll see in the post-game result, actually, that particularly T628 did an awesome job. 32,000 silver profit, 5,225 damage, 1,000 assistance, 1,500 block, and 3 kills for first-class mastery. The T628 came top on damage on our team, came top on XP, and Felix managed the 3rd best damage on our team, so was still very useful. So, thank you guys for watching, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.